Good morning, students. Last class we studied how to calculate the density of a crystal or the density of unit cell, what is close packing, what are different types of close packing, one-dimensional close packing, two-dimensional close packing, and three-dimensional close packing. In three-dimensional close packing, there are two types of close packing. One is square close packing, which give rise to cubic close packing, another or simple cubic structure, and another that is your hexagonal in 2D, that is hexagonal close packing, that give rise to two types of three-dimensional close packing, that is hexagonal close packing and cubic close packing. So in this way there are different types of close packing, but there is also some blank spaces, interstitial spaces. There is your tetrahedral void and octahedral voids. So how these voids are there? We also last class we discussed about all these. Here we are going to discuss what is radius ratio and imperfections of solids. So first, what actually that is covalent bond is directional in nature, while ionic bond is non-directional in nature. So as it is non-directional, one cation is surrounded by so many number of anions, and one anion is again surrounded by so many number of cations. So the oppositely charged ion surround a particular ion is known as its coordination number. Okay, suppose this is a plus ion, cation, and this is surrounded by so many number of anions. So many number of anions. Okay, suppose this is surrounded by B minus ion. So, what is the number of oppositely charged ions surround a particular cation, or how many number of how many number of negatively charged ions surround a particular cation, or how many number of cations surround a particular anion, that is known as its coordination number. That is known as its coordination number. So that is known as the coordination number, and this coordination number depends on radius ratio. So what is this radius ratio? Radius ratio is, this is the ratio of cation to radius of anion. Okay, so radius ratio, that is radius of cation to radius of anion. Radius of cation are plus to radius of anion are minus. So depending, and generally in a crystal the cation has smaller size than that of anion. So this is the ratio of cation to anion, and in general cations have smaller size than that of anion. In this way, this has fractional value. So depending on the radius ratio value, the coordination numbers are different. If the radius ratio value is higher, then the coordination number is higher. More number of ions, opposite charged ions surround a particular ion. Okay, so higher the radius ratio, higher the radius ratio, higher is the coordination number. Higher is the coordination number. Higher is the ratio, higher is the coordination number. So let us draw a table that is generally based on this radius ratio rule. So what are the different values, and according to that what is the coordination number, and generally what type of compound undergo this type of arrangement. So first radius ratio, coordination number, compound type. Compound type and example. So radius ratio, then the coordination number, okay, then compound type and examples. Let us consider one by one. Then another thing I want to say here, so before that coordination number, what is the shape of, what is the structure, then compound type. Okay, so first, if the radius ratio value found between 0.155 to 0.225, so 0.155 to 0.225, then the coordination number is 3, structure is trigonal planar, and compound type, one example is B2O3, that comes under this. Okay, that comes under this. And if this value 0.225 to 0.414, then the coordination number is 4 and structure is tetrahedral. And compound are of different types. And if the radius ratio is 0.414 to 0.732, then the coordination number is 6 and the compound type is octahedral, and compound types are generally sodium chloride type, NaCl type. All the halides of sodium and potassium comes under this. This is NaCl type, or different compounds NaI, KCl also have this type of structure. And then tetrahedral are copper halides, copper iodide, copper chloride. These have this type of structure, and we can say this is copper halide types. And if the radius ratio is between 0.732 to 1, then the coordination number is 8. It has generally PCC structure, and it has body centered cubic structure, and compound type are cesium chloride types. So the cesium salts comes under this. Okay, so in this way, this is the radius ratio rule. So this rule is called radius ratio rule. Okay. Next come to imperfections in crystals. Imperfections so whenever any crystal is formed, generally the crystal is all crystals are not perfectly arranged. Generally we say in a crystalline solid, all the constituent particles are orderly arranged to a long range. However, when these are formed due to absorption of heat or due to addition of some other impurities, there is no perfection is there, and some imperfections are there. So everything actually, in thermodynamic principle, according to everything exists in a perfect crystalline state at 0 degree Kelvin. And when, so everything exists as a perfect crystalline state at absolute 0. So when the temperature increases or the heat absorption takes place, then this imperfections arises. And this imperfection may also arises due to some addition of some other impurities. So in this way, so when the imperfection arises due to increase in heat, that is called thermodynamic imperfections. So this thermodynamic imperfections, so when this imperfection arises at a point or around a point or around an atom or around an ion, so when the imperfection arises around a point, that is around an atom or around an ion, then that type of imperfection is called point defect. So that is called point defect. So when defect arises around a point, imperfection arises around a lattice point, that is the constituent particles, that may be atom or ion, then that type of defect is called point defect. In ionic crystal, the point defects is again of two types. Point defects, actually three types of point defects are there. One is called stoichiometric defect. So there are three types of point defect. One, stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, and another, that is impurity defect. Okay, so let us discuss one by one. So first, so there are three types of point defects: stoichiometric defect, non-stoichiometric defect, and impurity defect. Let us first consider the stoichiometric defect. This stoichiometric defect, so when the arrangement of ionic crystals takes place in such a way so that stoichiometry is not disturbed. That means the ratio of cation to anion as represented by the formula is not disturbed, that is remains same, that is called stoichiometric defect. So stoichiometric defect, then stoichiometry is not disturbed. Stoichiometry is not disturbed. Stoichiometry is not disturbed. That means ratio of cation to anion remains same. Ratio of cation to anion remains same as that of their formula, their chemical formula. Then that type of that type of stoichiometric defect is called. So that type of defect is called stoichiometric defect. So that defect is called stoichiometric defect. So when the ratio of cation to anion, the number of cation to anion remains the same. The number of cation to the ratio of number of cation to number of anions remains same. That is called stoichiometric defect. So this stoichiometric defect is of two types again, that is your Schottky defect and Frankel defect. So this stoichiometric defect is again of two types, Schottky defect and another, that is called Frankel defect. Schottky defect and Frankel defect. So what is Schottky defect and what is Frenkel defect? So in the arrangement of ions, suppose the ions are like this: A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus. Suppose in this way these are arranged: A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus, and B minus, here A plus, and here cation, anion, and again B minus, again A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus, and again B minus, A plus, and B minus, A plus, B minus. Suppose this is the general arrangement of a ionic crystal. If equal number of cations and anions missing their positions, if equal number of cations and anions miss their positions, these are anyway due to application of heat or any other. If equal number of cations or anions are missing from their lattice sites, then suppose one A plus is removed here and one B minus is removed here. In this way, this type of defect is known as Schottky defect. If equal number of cations and anions are missing, equal number of cation and anion are missing, equal number of cation and anion are missing from the lattice sites, then that type of defect is known as Schottky defect. That type of defect is known as Schottky defect. And due to this Schottky defect, generally two holes are created, and due to this, the density of crystal decreases. So as holes are created, to cover up these holes, some ions move towards it. As a result, in some cases, the electrical conductivity increases. So the density decreases, electrical conductivity increases. So this is the Schottky defect. And this Schottky defect generally arises, generally seen, Schottky defect generally seen in case of compounds, so in case of the crystals in which has a higher coordination number. So which has higher coordination number, generally this type of Schottky defect arises. A Schottky defect takes place. Next come to a Frenkel defect. So in Frenkel defect what happens? Suppose this is A plus and B minus. In case of Frenkel defect, some cations left the lattice sites and remain in interstitial positions. In Frenkel defect, cations lost their lattice sites, or some cations are removed from this lattice sites. Cations generally left, some cations left their lattice site and remain, and cations left their lattice site and remain in interstitial space. Suppose some cations left here and remain here. Okay? Some cations left its position and remain here. So this type of defect is known as Frenkel defect. So due to Frenkel defect, so generally cations have smaller size than that of anions. In this, the cations left their positions. The cations leave their positions. So some cations leave their position. In Frenkel defect, some cations leave their position lattice side and remain in interstitial space. As the cations have smaller size, in this cations leave their position instead of anions, and this type of defect is also called one type of interstitial defect because the cations remain in interstitial position. So the cations do not leave the crystal. In this way, the density of the crystals remains same, and here also a hole is created. That's why the electrical conductivity increases. And in case of Frankel defect, generally takes place in that case which have lower coordination number. The ionic compounds which have low coordination number, in that case Frankel defect takes place. So for example, in that case Frankel defect takes place. So this is about the Schottky defect and Frankel defect. Next come to what is the difference between Schottky defect and Frankel defect. Difference between Schottky defect and Frankel defect. So in Schottky defect, both the cations and anions leave their position. Both cation and anion leave their position, but in Frankel defect, only cation leave their position. Only cation leave their position. And here density decreases, density decrease, and here density remains same. Density remain same. And in this case, then density remains same. And generally it takes place in case of high coordination number, the ionic compounds having a high coordination number, and generally that takes place compounds having low coordination number. Low coordination number. So which have low coordination number. Okay, so generally that takes place in case of low coordination number, and this takes place in case of high coordination number. So generally Schottky defect takes place. Some examples where Schottky defect is seen, that is in case of sodium chloride, in case of sodium bromide, potassium chloride, generally Schottky defect arises, and generally silver halides. That is your in case of silver chloride, in case of silver iodide, generally Frankel defect arises. So a compound where both Schottky defect and Frankel defect arises, that is silver bromide. In silver bromide, both these defects found to be seen. Okay, so silver bromide can exhibit. In silver bromide case, both types of defect arises. Okay, so this is about stoichiometric defect. Next come to non-stoichiometric defect. So non-stoichiometric defect is that where stoichiometry is disturbed. That is, the ratio between cation and anion, the number of cation and number of anion is different from that of the general formula. Okay, so another non-stoichiometric defect. So non-stoichiometric defect is that where the stoichiometry is disturbed. Where the stoichiometric is disturbed, that means the ratio of number of cations to anions is different. Number of cations to anions is different from that of their formula, from that of the ideal formula. So in this way, the ratio of number of cations and anions is different from that of the ideal formula. Then that is known as a non-stoichiometric defect. And this non-stoichiometric defect arises due to, there are two types of non-stoichiometric defect. One is metal excess defect. Metal excess defect, and another metal deficiency defect. Metal excess defect and metal deficiency defect. In case of metal excess defect, if some extra cations remain, so this metal excess defect, this is also arises due to two cases. So one case is that due to presence of excess metal cation, and another due to leaving of anion, due to excess of metal ion, and another due to leaving of anion. So when due to leaving of anion, so when some excess metal, so when some excess metal cations are present in the metal lattice points, so you know there are, so when all are arranged, when all the cations and anions are arranged, there is some interstitial space. So in interstitial space, if some extra cations remain, while in the crystallization process, some extra cations remain in the interstitial space, then due to that, the number of cations increases. In this way, stoichiometric is disturbed, and the stoichiometry do not remain same, and due to which, as the more number of cations present, for which metal excess, that is called metal excess defect. So as more number of cations are there, and to maintain the electrical neutrality, some electrons are also trapped by this crystal, and that will also remain in interstitial space. So when we arrange this, suppose in this way, some cations are there, A plus, B minus, A plus, B minus, and again here B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus, here B again A minus, B plus, A minus, B plus, A minus, B plus, and here B minus, A plus, B minus, A plus. In this way, the arrangement of crystals is there, and at some cases, some interstitial spaces, so suppose some cations remain in the interstitial space. So in this way, some electrons are also remain in the to maintain the electrical neutrality, some electrons are also remain in the interstitial space. So this type of arrangement is called metal excess defect, because more number of cations are present. Okay, so this is called metal excess defect, and that is generally arises due to presence of extra cation at the interstitial space. So this is metal excess defect due to presence of excess metal cation. Generally, if we consider about the zinc oxide, so when zinc oxide is heated, so some extra cation Zn2 plus ion remain in the interstitial sites, and the electrons which are removed again these remain in the interstitial spaces. So due to which, due to presence of these electrons, so these compounds are generally, they impart some color. In this way, zinc oxide is yellow in color, and zinc oxide is yellow in color, ZnO when heated, Zn2 plus half O2 plus 2 electron. So to balance this electron, 2 electrons are remain in the interstitial spaces, 2 electrons are remain. So due to presence of this electron, these are color. So zinc oxide when heated, it is yellow in color. So next come to another, the metal excess defect due to leaving of anion. So when anions leave their position, when some anions leave their position, at that time a hole is created. Suppose this is A plus. So suppose here in the arrangement of this, suppose here an anion leave its position. If some anions leave its position from the lattice sides, from the crystal lattice, then due to which the ratio of cation and anions again become different. The cation has more number of cations than that of anions. So the ratio of cation to anion again changes. In this way, that type of defect is also known as metal excess defect, that is due to leaving of anion. And to maintain the electrical neutrality, here also some electron is trapped by the crystal, and as the electron is trapped by the crystal, for which this becomes colored. And this is when this electron trapped by the crystals, and this space is called F center. This is called F center. So when some anions leave from the lattice side, and in that place some electrons are remain, and in that place some electrons are remain to maintain the electrical neutrality, that is called F center. And due to this F center, the compounds, the ionic compounds also impart color. For example, when sodium chloride heated, it gives Na plus and Cl minus, and due to excess heat, some chloride ions leave their position, and electrons instead, and as sodium gives Na plus and Cl minus, the sodium ions remain on the surface, and some electrons are trapped by this crystal, for which sodium chloride is also yellow in color. Some sodium chloride which are generally mixed with impurities of metal excess defect, that are generally yellow in color. Similarly, potassium chloride shows some pink color if impurities are present, and lithium chloride also impart a reddish color due to presence of this type of impurities. Next come to the non-stoichiometric defect due to metal deficiency defect. So in generally that type of defect is shown in case of crystals which have different oxidation number. Generally transition metal compounds, so this type of defect. In case of FeO, FeS, NiO, this type of defect arises, that is called metal deficiency defect. So what happens, suppose in the case of here some cations leave their position, and another cation which has some cations leave their position, and another way, any cation with another oxidation state remains at the interstitial site of this. So for example, if there is FeO, your oxidation number is Fe2 plus. But in case of some Fe2 plus ions are removing here to balance this Fe2 plus ion, in the place of 2 Fe2 plus ion, 1 Fe3 plus ion remain. So in this way, to maintain the electrical balance, some higher oxidation, if one cation is missing, in that place another cation with higher oxidation number remain at another lattice point, so that it can maintain the electrical neutrality. So in case of metal excess defect, some cations leave its position. So cations having lower oxidation number leave its position, and another cation having higher oxidation number remains there. Suppose A plus A plus A plus is there, and another has A2 plus. So if two A plus are removed and another lacticide, another A2 plus remains, in this way it can maintain the electrical neutrality. So this type of defect is called metal deficiency defect, which is due to removal of some cations with lower oxidation number, and at some other lattice point, some other cations having higher oxidation number remains. That type of defect is known as metal excess defect, and these are known as non-stoichiometric defects. Next come to another defect, that is called impurity defect. So in the impurity defect, so when the crystallization of some ionic compound takes place, say the solution contains some other impurities of ionic compounds, then in the crystal lattice of one cation, another cation if remains, then that type of defect is called impurity defect. For example, in the crystallization of sodium chloride, if some amount of strontium chloride is added in the solution, so in the crystal lattice at the lattice site of sodium ion, some of the Sr2 plus ions remain. In the place of Na plus ion, some of the Sr2 plus ions are remain, and that type of defect is called impurity defect. So in the crystal lattice, at the lattice sites of some cations, if some foreign cations remain or substituted, then that is called impurity defect. Suppose we consider about Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, and Cl minus Na plus, and Cl minus Na plus, and again Na plus Cl minus, Na plus Cl minus, and Cl minus Na plus, Cl minus Na plus. If two sodium ions are removed from the lattice sites, in that case one Sr2 plus ions are remain to maintain the electrical neutrality, and that type of defect is called impurity defect. Due to impurity defect also a hole is created, for which if the defect arises, the electrical conductivity of the, actually these are remain neutral, electrically these are neutral, but their electrical conductivity increases. In solid state also they can conduct a very less amount. So due to these impurities, due to this presence of due to the presence of impurities, this can conduct electricity as there is presence of some hole. That is also in case of metal excess defect, that is also in case of anion defect, so the metal excess defect, metal deficiency defect, or that may be Schottky defect or Frenkel defect. Some holes are created, some blank space are created for which electrical conductivity increases. And if a foreign cation remain in the lattice site of another cation, that defect is called impurity defect. This is the impurity defect in case of ionic compound. But in case of covalent compound also, in case of covalent solid also, the impurity defect arises. So next come to impurity defect in covalent solids. Impurity defect in covalent solids. So when some foreign substance is added, some impurity is added to the crystal of some other substance, then that process is called doping. And doping is very common in case of covalent solids. And doping is very common in case of covalent solid. So in the crystal of sodium chloride, if some ions of if the crystals of sodium chloride, some ions of strontium chloride if added, then that is called doping. Similarly, but doping is very common in case of covalent solids. For example, if due to this doping, generally the electrical conductivity increases, and the doping takes place mainly in case of in case of metalloids, that is for the preparation of semiconductor. For the preparation of semiconductor, generally doping is carried out. Okay, so for example, if we consider about silicon, so when silicon crystals are there, one silicon atom is surrounded by four other silicon atoms by covalent bonding. One silicon atom is surrounded by four other silicon atoms by covalent bonding. Look here. So this is I, this dot of I for silicon. Suppose so it has 4 electron. Every silicon has 4 valence electron. As they have 4 valence electron, they form 4 covalent bond with another 4 silicon atoms. So this is the covalent bonding of silicon with silicon. Okay, so this is called pure semiconductor, that is called intrinsic semiconductor, and some other substances if added to them, then their conductivity increases. Okay, so in this way, this is the crystal structure of silicon. Suppose you consider this is the crystal structure of silicon. So if this silicon atom is doped with either group 15 elements or with group 13 elements. You know silicon is group 14 elements, and when this is doped with group 13 elements or group 14 elements, that process is called doping. So when some electron rich impurity is suppose added here, suppose silicon is doped with this is group 14 element, and suppose it is doped with group 13 elements. Group 13 elements, that is with boron. Group 13, suppose with boron. Then what happens? In place of one silicon atom, there remains one boron atom, and boron atom has 3 valency electrons. So when it forms bond, the silicon has 4 electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, but boron has 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So in this way, there arises a hole. There appears a hole. A hole is created. So no bonding takes place here. A hole is created between the silicon and boron. So to cover up this position of this hole, some electron from the next atom is passed it. As the electron moves from another atom to here, then the hole moves, then the hole comes to here. And again to cover up, again this hole, another electron from another atom comes here. So as the electron comes here, and another hole created in this way. So in this way, movement of electron takes place in one direction, and movement of hole takes place in another direction. Due to which the conductivity increases by addition of any other foreign material, that is group 13 elements. So as there is deficiency of electron in this type of semiconductor is called p-type semiconductor. So this is called p-type semiconductor. This is called p-type semiconductor. Next come to another type of doping, that is called that is for which n-type of semiconductor is formed. So when to the group 14 elements, suppose to this group 14 elements, some group 15 elements are doped. Some group 15 elements are doped. Suppose in case of the silicon atom, some amount of arsenic is added there. If some amount of arsenic added, then what happens? Arsenic has 5 valency electron. As arsenic has 5 valency electron in this way, as arsenic has 5 valence electron, extra electron remain here. So as extra electron remain here, due to presence of extra electron, it carries a negative charge. So as it carries a negative charge, in this way, this type of semiconductor is called n-type semiconductor. This is called n-type semiconductor. So if some foreign substances is added, then to the lattice point of another lattice point of another elements or metal, then that type of impurity is called impurity defect. And impurity defect is very common in case of covalent solid. So when a group 14 element is doped with group 13 elements that form a p-type semiconductor, and when a group 14 element mixed with doped with group 15 elements that form n-type semiconductor. N-type semiconductor. As there is extra electron which is free electron, for which movement of electron takes place, for which movement of electron takes place, and in this way the conductivity increases. So these are some idea about imperfections in solids, that is ionic solids and covalent solids. Next come to electrical properties of solids. So this electrical properties of solids, depending upon whether a substance can conduct electricity through them, the substances are classified into 3 types. One is known as conductor, another known as insulators, another known as semiconductors. So conductors are that where the conductivity is 10. The substances whose conductivity value is 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 7 ohm inverse meter inverse. And insulators are the substances 10 to the power 4 to 10 to the power 7 ohm inverse, meter inverse. And insulators are the substances whose conductivity is 10 to the power minus 20 to 10 to the power minus 10 ohm inverse, meter inverse. And semiconductors are the substances whose conductivity is in between these two, that is 10 to the power minus 10, sorry, 10 to the power minus 6 to 10 to the power 4 ohm inverse, meter inverse. Generally, with increase in temperature, the conductivity of semiconductor increases and very little increase in case of insulator, and with increase in temperature the conductivity of conductor, that is metallic conductor, decreases. But if the conductor is electrolyte, then it increases. So with increase in temperature, with increase in temperature, the conductivity of metallic conductor decreases, while that of semiconductor increases. Okay, so this is just the idea about conductance of material. It depends on the conductivity. Next come to another property, that is called magnetic property. So as you know, electron is a charged particle. It moves around the nucleus as well as it moves around itself. That is called spinning. So due to the spinning of electron, as electron is a charged particle and it spins, due to spinning, it creates a magnetic field. It behaves as a magnet. So in any substance, if there is presence of unpaired electrons, that shows some magnetic behavior. So the magnetic behavior of substance is classified into 5 types. Magnetic characteristics are classified into 5 types. One is diamagnetic substance, which are repelled by external magnetic field, repelled by external magnetic field. If in the arrangement of an atom or in any element or in any compound, if all the electrons are paired, then that are generally diamagnetic. And another, that is called paramagnetic. If there is presence of unpaired electrons in the valency shell of an atom or any compound, then that are generally paramagnetic. That is due to presence of unpaired electrons. That is diamagnetic due to paired electron. And these are weakly attracted by external magnetic field. And another compound that are called ferromagnetic substances. Ferromagnetic substances are that which are permanently magnetized even in the absence of a magnet. So these are strongly attracted by magnetic field, and these are permanently magnetized even in the absence of magnetic field. And some examples are iron, cobalt, nickel, chromium oxide, gadolinium, etc. So these are ferromagnetic substances. And so when we consider about a group of atoms, so these remain in the group of atoms. So in the group of atoms, what is the resultant magnetic field of some group of atoms? That is called domain. So if the domains are arranged in such a way, if all the domains are parallel to each other, then that creates a ferromagnetic substances. So these are the magnetic field of domains, the magnetic field of domains. So when all these domains are generally parallel to each other, it creates ferromagnetic substances. In the application of a magnetic field, if all these are parallel, then this is known as your ferromagnetic substances. And another substances that are known as your antiferromagnetism. Antiferromagnetic substances. So actually these have more number of unpaired electrons. These actually they should exhibit the magnetic behavior, but when external magnetic field is applied, these are also repelled by magnetic field. So these are same behavior as that of diamagnetic substances. So all the domains are arranged in different direction, and when magnetic field is applied, if these domains are remain in parallel and anti-parallel in unequal portion, parallel and anti-parallel in unequal way, then that parallel and anti-parallel in unequal way, then that gives rise to antiferromagnetism, and that gives rise to antiferromagnetism. If these are equal number of parallel and anti-parallel, then the resultant magnetic moment becomes zero. The resultant magnetic moment again becomes zero, and that becomes antiferromagnetic. And another is known as your ferrimagnetic substances. Ferrimagnetic substances. So ferrimagnetic substances are those which are also similar behavior as that of paramagnetic substances, and here the domains are unequally distributed in parallel and anti-parallel way. So these are unequally distributed in parallel and anti-parallel way. The domains are unequally distributed in parallel and anti-parallel way that give rise to ferrimagnetic substances. These are also weakly attracted by magnetic field. And antiferromagnetics, equal number of parallel and anti-parallel domains are there, for which the resultant magnetic moment is zero, and these are known as your antiferromagnetic substance. One example is manganese oxide. And ferromagnetic, where the domains are parallel to each other and the resultant magnetic moment is high, even if these are more magnetized in absence of magnetic field. And these are known as ferromagnetic substances. And paramagnetic substances weakly attracted by magnetic field due to presence of unpaired electron, oxygen molecule like. And diamagnetic substances which are repelled by the external magnetic field, and where if all the electrons are paired in an atom or in the crystal, then that are known as your diamagnetic substances. So this is all about solid state.